I'm the rap game's financial advisor. Dropping beats that'll make you go higher. I got an 808 with metal undertones. Gonna school you about crypto, make you take loans. Stacking stacks, yeah, that's the goal. Investing in crypto, watch it all unfold. Bitcoin, ethereum, Litecoin, and more. I'm diversifying portfolios like never before. Cryptocurrency got the game in a frenzy. Financial literacy, that's the key to plenty. I'm spitting knowledge, making moves that count. Turning stacks into millions, no doubt.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. First and foremost, we got to give a shout out to the sponsor of the show and the platform. Hope everybody's digging the new camera angle. I got some stuff sorted out. We got a little different vantage point, but goodness, is it crispy. Bring this down a little bit. Yeah, bring it on in there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got good camera. It's I'm liking it. But like I was saying, first and foremost, we got to give a shout out to the sponsor of the show and the platform, Delta Investment Tracker app. If you are not using Delta Investment Tracker, I high-key recommend that you get on board. And if you decide to, down below, there is a link in the description. That's a referral link for me. It just lets them know I don't get any type of kickback from that. It just lets them know you found them by way of your boy Reckless Ray Dinero. Now, also got to give a shout out to the bag chasers who normally get this early. We are in the midst of a grinder, so I'm going to actually have to really buckle down and do some pre-recording this weekend for future financial strategies. Crypto portfolio updates, I'm just going to start making sure to dial in on that on Sundays. I'm just going to force myself to do it because we're working 7 days a week right now. It's intense. It is wild. And I don't really have time. And normally the bag chasers and the family over at Circa 84 get it first. That is Circa 84, of which there's a referral link down in the description. Bag chasers are the bag Anton Daniels of AntonDaniels.com's bag chasers, of which I'm a part of the community. So, you know, got to give props where they're due. They get it first. We will be developing some stuff for ourselves over here in the Wolfpack. I'm going to put something special together that we'll be releasing once we get to 500 subscribers. For those of you who are just getting over here, if it's your first time, thank you for stopping through the channel. Thank you for checking me out. Thank you for taking the time to hear what I've got to say about crypto. For those of you who have been here before, salutes to you. Shout outs to the Wolfpack. We're getting ready to bring back the live streams. Chat lives matter. I've been missing you guys. So prepare for that. We're going to be returning in grandiose fashion. I would never take a hiatus like this and not come back with a little bit more value than what I left with. But obviously, all jokes aside, injury, recovering, all that fun stuff. So with that said, let's dive right into it. We're going to start off with the fun stuff. Definitely make sure to hit that like. Definitely share the video. If you're watching the premiere, share the premiere. You guys will be getting it first thing in the morning. Also, if you're new, feel free to subscribe if you like the video. Give me a shot. I don't flood your feed. I'm not on here talking about, well, I mean, I guess I am talking about the same thing every time, but I'm not doing it every day. So there is that. And we do have a live stream where you guys can come in and ask questions and chat and shoot the stuff with us. So we're going to go ahead and bring this back to the screen. Put me down here in the bottom. First things first, we got to talk about where we are at. Oh, Jesus Lord. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So we are currently sitting at 53.8% Bitcoin dominance. Now, I am recording this the evening before. I did not get a chance to record on Sunday. I was far too tired, way too busy, got back in way too late. The 7-day work weeks do have a toll, and apparently it was me crashing on Sunday. But Bitcoin dominance is at 53.8%. Wow. Shout outs to CoinGecko, where we're our point of reference here. ETH dominance is sitting at 14.6%, and gas fees are under 1 gwei. That right now, put plays in on Ethereum. If you got a coin that's sitting on Ethereum that you want to get at, now's the time. Now's the time to make those buys. That is a minuscule gas fee. Good gracious. Wish I saw that more often. Next, we are looking at the top 3 trending coins as per CoinGecko. Black Card Coin, Jenna the Cat, and AIT Protocol. Those are your top 3 trending coins. Obviously, we got Bitcoin sitting above 60,000, which is happy for the market, happy for my portfolio. Obviously, you know what I'm about to say. Bitcoin's still undervalued, but let's go ahead and kick it over to the next screen, and let's talk about the top gainers and losers. So this part of the show where we talk about the coins that have gone up the most in the last 24 hours, we do the top 5 of each, just to give you a feel of what's going on in the market. I gotta turn the brightness up on this bad boy. I can't see nothing. Okay. Starting off with the gainers. I hope all of you are over here. At rank 843, we have Bell's Coin, BEL, with a gain of 51.2% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, we have at rank 854, Black Card Coin, BCCOIN, with a gain of, actually, it's number 1. This is a live chart. It is at 53.5%. Black Card Coin is at number 1. Bell's Coin is now at number 2. Up next, we have Hopper, HOPR, at rank 739 with a gain of 32.1% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have Wrapped Dog at rank 820, WDOG, with a gain of 28.8% in the last 24 hours. At number 5, right behind Wrapped Dog, we have at rank 595, Billy, BILLY, with a gain of 27.6%. Not too bad for the gainers. Definitely for the bull run. Kind of a blah 24 hours. These are blah returns. But we are currently in a dip that I hope you are buying. Moving on over to the top losers in the last 24 hours. We got the top 5 losers. At rank 698, we have Jenna the Cat, GINNAN, with a loss of 26.8%. At number 2, we have at rank 988, Yawn, YAWN, with a loss of 23%. At number 3, we have Alliance Block Nexera at rank 795, NXRA, with a loss of 17.4% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 356, OXO.AI : AI smart contract, symbol OXO, with a loss of 14.7% in the last 24 hours. At number 5, last but not least, we have at rank 659, Smoking Chickenfish, with a loss of 11.7% in the last 24 hours. That's going to sum up our top 5 gainers and losers. What we are seeing right now, this is sideways bull run if I've ever seen it. And I've seen it. Very sideways, very blah day for the bull run. Up next, we are going to jump over into the portfolio. But before we do that, I need to see what we're sitting at. Okay, so this dip has hit us hard. We're moving sideways as well. We're up 0.06%, which is under 1%, but over 0.5%. in the last 24 hours. And overall, we are currently sitting at a downward spiral. We are sitting at down 12.8% for the year thus far. Abysmal, disgusting. We hate it. Going to go ahead and bring this up to the screen. We're going to get into our top 10. Now, actually, during this run, for a little bit on that last bounce back, Solana was unequivocally the #1 position in my portfolio. Solana has been having some good pumps. It's been holding strong, doing work. It's been an onager, a tank, if you would. Now, we're going to go ahead and do the portfolio top 10. Then we're going to get into the discussion. I'm going to make it short, sweet, and quick as I can with my little rant. Remember, we leave off Lido Staked Ether because that position does not move. We also leave out USDC because that is normally tied up in liquidity and also doesn't offer you guys any insight into what I'm holding, why I'm holding, or anything to talk about. Moving on, we're going to start it off. At #1, we have Solana, SOL. At #2, we have Ethereum, ETH. At #3, we have Injective, INJ. At #4, we have Osmosis, OSMO. At #5, we have Wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC. At #6, we have Celestia, TIA. At #7, we have Radium, RAY. At #8, we have Camelot Token, GRAIL. At #9, we have Thorwallet DEX, TGT. And at #10, we have Akash Network, AKT. Now, what are we doing? Over this weekend, we have done nothing. What we've been doing consistently, we have implemented the Bitcoin standard. For those of you who are not aware of what that is, that means all income that comes in, I am now constantly buying Bitcoin. I have decided that that was the standard that we were going to go on. It's going to be likely replacing my 401k, considering that it's between 5 and 10% at present, based dependent on source of all the income that comes in the house into my household goes into Bitcoin. Now that's including all sources. My W-2 income right now we're doing about 5%. Give or take, it's floating around there, but we're doing a little bit of a purchase every time that we bring money in from the dividends. We are doing 10%. Now we will be kicking that up as soon as we clear all the current present debts and obligations to 10 to 20%. So right now, while we're focusing on eliminating debt as quickly as possible, we are doing a smaller load to get the Bitcoin standard going. But what that is that is my backstop. That is my emergency fund. That is my preserve and future wealth, and hopefully be able to pass that on to the next generation. Move. That is the foundation of the financial system that I have set up within my household, no matter what I'm doing, because I'm very heavily involved in my traditional finance portfolio. And people would ask, well, if you believe in Bitcoin so much, why would you even bother with that? It's so that I don't ever have to spend the Bitcoin. So what we have been buying and what we will be buying consistently every time around, because I'm not putting more money into the crypto market at this juncture, and we are currently spinning down the management of our liquidity pooling positions. Why so? Because with the Bitcoin standard, part of my goal is to have all my investment money being spun out of my income portfolio. So the sooner we get that into the metric that it needs to be, the more money and cash flow that I will have to invest in all crypto coins. Probably won't be hitting as much this year. It just depends on how the finances work themselves out. But going into 2025, hopefully early 2025, we should be getting enough of a dividend payout to where we can start looking at moving some money over into the crypto space beyond just our regular Bitcoin standard, setting a little bit aside out of those dividends for Bitcoin. We did not do the cash out this week because this dip was abysmal, and it put us into some very negative territory. The Bloody Monday happened. It happened globally. And another one of the jabs that I see a lot of people taking is, oh, Bitcoin is supposed to be a hedge against volatility. And the thing is, there's no such thing as a hedge against volatility, because when a global crisis happens, or any type of major macro event that affects everything, people sell everything. Everything. There's no true hedge against a catastrophic event, because people just start letting go of stuff because they're panicking. The thing that I noticed is the only people who are letting go of things are retail investors, which gets into my point of the show, which is crypto investors are running out of time. And the reason I say this, and I've been saying this for 10 years, there's a specific window in time where you have the maximum opportunity to make the maximum gains on a new emerging market. Once we get to certain metrics, you're not going to have the big swings. You're not going to have 5x every year, not indefinitely anyways. Now, with that said, on the road to, and this is obviously the narrative that I'm playing, that's not a factual narrative, but it's what I'm believing that we are going to have, what I believe the market is going in, and the reason I'm so gung-ho about getting into this market and having a consistent amount of money going into this market. And that is, Bitcoin either goes to 0 or $1 million. I'm in the camp that it's going to $1 million. Now, on the way to $1 million, you can go, oh, well, there's a lot of upside still left. Yeah, sure there is. But there's only so much Bitcoin to go around. We have 21 million, and a good chunk of it has been lost. A good chunk of it is being held by BlackRock. A good chunk of it is being bought up every day, every month, every quarter by MicroStrategy and other publicly traded companies. And there's people like myself who've implemented the Bitcoin standard within my cash flow household. And indefinitely buying, never selling if possible. There's only so many seats on this bus. And quite a few of us are buying up a lot of seats, which means that there is a definitive point where there's only going to be altcoins. But as the volatility of Bitcoin shrinks, so did the opportunities on the altcoin, because this is going to sift down to where there's going to be a few primary ones. You might get a little bit of stuff going on in the DeFi market and infrastructurally within some of these other ecosystems. But the opportunities that exist now, like, we're not going to have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000% jumps on coins with dogs on them indefinitely. Like, this is a strike in the pan. And I can tell this as the market's evolving. My traditional finance portfolio is kicking off more dividends than I'm making providing liquidity within the crypto space, which was one of the things that launched me off. We go through seasons. That game is dead as far as I'm concerned. Like, there's a lot less risk with the traditional finance portfolio. It's kicking off more income. Is it as high? No. Less risk, more consistent, front facing. It's on the clean side of the line. I can use it as a buffer and just stack Bitcoin that way. That's what we're looking at for this season. Like, I'm actively going to be spinning down everything. Like, the coins that I'm holding for the bull run, I will have those in positions to generate income. But honestly, we're rolling most of those positions down into Solana. I'm going to have it sit. I'm going to collect some dividends, some residuals off that, some passive income off that. And we're just going to wait for it to run. We're going to wait for the actual blow your socks off run. Like, this portfolio is about to get real boring. There's a couple of other positions I'm going to be adding some money to, but everything that goes in now, it's going to be either buying it Ethereum straight up, because that's another one that's also going to be facing scarcity. We are currently trading with maybe 10% of the circulating supply on the exchanges. The ETFs have already purchased an entire year of what Ethereum produces as proof of stake. An entire year. We're not talking about days. Ethereum ETFs have already acquired an entire year. It is the 6th best performing ETF ever. Already. There's going to be a supply crunch on Bitcoin. There's likely going to be a supply crunch on Ethereum. I know everything is supposed to be a better bet than Ethereum. I make placing my bet on Solana in the sense that it'll probably outperform Ethereum over the bull run, but outside of that, questionable. It has not earned its way into my heart. I mean, if we can make it through the rest of the year with no restarts and no technical issues, it's not centralized. I'm not going to pretend and sit here and tell you that it's centralized. I don't believe that Ethereum is going to be going away. There is a handful of VCs that spun up Ethereum. They're going to get their money back. I want to take those profits and roll them into my Ethereum position. Ethereum, on the other hand, has an entire foundation with hundreds of companies that are building or tapping in or touching to it. That is going to be my long-term play. As far as what's in the long-term holdings. Now, depending on how Solana performs, it could weasel its way into there. So then it'll be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and Solana, potentially. We'll see. I'm utilizing the chain. So when I have a complaint, it's a legitimate complaint. Like, I'm complaining because the chain sucks. It's not doing what it needs to do. It's not centralized. They're having to reboot it. I can't get access to funds when it locks up. These are problems. If they are not fixed, the chain won't make it long term. But I think those VCs are going to promote and run it up until they get their money back. And I'm taking some of that money from them. So it's just going to be what it is. Do I have high prospects for the bull run on Solana? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to outperform Ethereum over the bull run? Absolutely. Do I think Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin? Absolutely. But the question is, we've got one, maybe two, including this one. So you got maybe one more good bull run of like, this is life changing. Because every bull run that I've been in for over a decade that I've been in this space now, yeah, that's right. Your boy's been over here for over a decade, actively using chains, actively engaging with smart contracts, actively staking, actively liquidity farming. And each run has like a theme. So like the one that really popped off for me, I was liquidity farming. I liquidity farming my face off. I was making a lot of money. And, you know, stuff started collapsing. There were some major collapses that reclaimed some of that. But, you know, I've never gone through and come out worse than when I started within a crypto bull run. I'm realizing now with the current options that we have, the current things that are in the traditional finance market, the current tools that are available, as far as income goes, it's going to be usable. Like, hey, like I'm trying to get out of the workforce, like as soon as possible. That is a better tool. So I can focus my portfolio for crypto, of course, find things that kick off a little bit of residual while I'm waiting for the bull run. But outside of that, I am no longer focusing on generating income because I'm not going to be able to match that bull run. When liquidity farming took off, it took off. It was a window in time. Helped me change my life. But you can't keep doing the same thing, especially in crypto. We evolve so fast. Can you still liquidity farm? Absolutely. There's no way with the pool of money. I have a third of what I've got in my crypto, the active crypto account. I've got a third of that in my traditional finance portfolio, and I'm kicking the crypto portfolio's butt. There just aren't opportunities there to do what I need to do to get the returns that I need to get. So it's just more beneficial for me to go ahead and spin that down into that Ethereum position, put it away, call it good, or actually spin it down into the Solana position while we're waiting, call it good, kick a little bit over into the Ethereum position to hedge, and keep it pushing. Keep doing what I'm doing. And then new money into the market, I can buy into those other altcoins that I'm just sitting on and holding for the bull run. But there's not a whole lot of time. Like, this is going to be a pivotal window for some of you. this bull run and the 2028 bull run. You need to be getting in position. You need to be focusing on what you're doing, why you're here, what this opportunity actually means to you. Because as we get to these points, once we get over $100,000, like that's going to knock a lot of volatility out of the space. Once we get to 250, more volatility out of the space. They're saying that 2028 we should be jumping up to 500,000. I understand it's good. That sounds crazy right now. We're sitting at 60. But that's the reason I'm saying, I'm like, there's only going to be so many seats on this ride. It is a long-term game. They've done the analytics on who's been selling these dips. It's only retail. Retail is giving up positions. And who's buying it? Myself, BlackRock, MicroStrategy, places that are buying it and holding indefinitely. So you can't really get back on. You can ride the waves. There's people that are trading, and I understand, but Bitcoin is one of those things that the short-term traders are at a steep disadvantage, because those of us who have been here for a long time, we're looking way down the road. And if your time window is small, like you're obviously, it looks like you're winning right now. And I understand what people are going to say. They're going to say, oh, well, I'm just trying to get in and make money right now. And it's like, okay, well, that's cool, because people were trading Amazon stock and trying to make money at $10. The people who bought the Amazon stock and still hold the Amazon stock right now, there's nobody who was in that small window of time is probably wealthier than the dude that bought them and held, because he was looking way down the road. People who are in this space, including the big money, it's not just like it's some guy who's working on not being a brokey that's out here telling you that this is a great opportunity. Even though I am trying not to be a brokey, and I'm here telling you that it's a great opportunity. But the big money's holding. Now, I know that a lot of you are smarter than me, but if you think you're smarter than the CEO of, you think you're smarter than Larry Fink, you think you're smarter than Michael Saylor, Anthony Pompliano, all of these people who are in this space that have been here for forever, that are using their companies, they're using their personal bank accounts, their companies, their hedge funds. You think you're smarter than countries, the leaders of El Salvador? Think you're smarter than leaders of Russia? Think you're smarter than the leaders of Brazil? I mean, maybe monetarily, maybe, I don't know. Your bank account might be better, but you think you're smarter than the people who manage the pension in Wisconsin? So they're buying Bitcoin. Like this isn't a conversation. Like, this is a global conversation, but even within America, it's like, okay, which side of this do you want to be on? We always talk about being on the right side of history, and this is blaring in your face. I can tell you from personal experience that being in the Bitcoin space long term has drastically changed my financial prospects and my wealth prospects. Period. So the people who are making these in and out plays in a short time span, it's like, okay, like, I'm sure it feels good to get some wins. It's not hard to catch this cycle. Like, it makes sense. You buy in below 50, or not below 50, when it drops below 60 into the 50s, and then you sell at about 65. That's a window for now. But once that window closes, it'll be a different window. So like right now, I'd say it's like targeting 55. Below 60, I would honestly start placing buys, but that's what I would do if I was actually trading this. And we might throw together a little leverage trade for some fun, just to like play with the kids. But below 60, under 60 and about 55, because that's the sweet spot for me. I'm not trying to catch the absolute bottoms. I know it goes lower, but if you're not using crazy leverage, you ain't got to worry about that. But you catch below 60, Between 60 and 55 is the sweet spot. Closer to 55. Like I'm holding on that buy button until it's about 55. 55, you place your bid. You place your sell at 65. Easy churn and burn. Or depending on how low you get it, 60 to 65. That could be the other side of that window. You catch it at 55, buy in there, sell at 65. Throw a little bit of leverage on there, you could be making some pretty decent money, but then that window is going to shift. It's going to shift up. It's not going to shift down. We're going to be sitting, and it might be below 65, and then it's below 70 to 65, and then 75 or 70 to 80. We're going to start stair-stepping up. We're going to start stair-stepping up, and as that price gets higher, it becomes further and further out of reach for the average person because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that you can buy partial Bitcoin. You can buy little Satoshis. That's what I do. 50, 70 bucks at a time. But I know that doesn't sound glamorous, but it does when the number starts going up. I believe you me. It's like every time I look at anything, I'm like, well, I could probably get 100% off this money for whatever I purchase. Like, we have to be strategic, but like once we get to $1 million Bitcoin, it's like you'll never have, like, you're not going to have the opportunity. Or if we get to the point where there's legitimately a supply crunch, because as those people who are selling short-term buying in and out of the market, me, every Bitcoin that I buy, except for what we have set aside for the house improvement plan, our opportunity fund money. Outside of that, everything else is going right back in, is going to never see the light of day again. Like, that's not going to be an opportunity for you to buy those Bitcoin. I'm going to have one spurted sell-off, probably when I'll start dollar cost averaging out when we get I'm looking at 75 to 80. I'll start pulling a little bit out at a time based on repairs. It depends. But after that's out, nothing else is coming out of the market. And that's one of the things that you guys have to understand is, like, those of us who are saving long term, and I understand it's not wealth if you don't sell it, but it is wealth if you can leverage it. And considering we used to have leveraging for Bitcoin within the United States, I'm pretty sure after we get to a certain point, there will be some form or fashion of being able to do that, and I will be holding indefinitely until we get to that point. I'm planning on not selling because I won't have to. My traditional finance portfolio will produce the income that I need it to. Got a plan for that too. We got to move strategically and with intention. But I do an episode like this every once in a while just to remind people, because we're over here in the Wolf Pack. I'm talking about future financial strategies. I got a thing where we're tracking the crypto portfolio that we built together with you. Like, I built it with you. If you want to go back through the episodes, it's all in a playlist, the 2024 bull run. If you watch the rest of the videos in the playlist, it's me going through my ideology for building out this portfolio. Only caveat is I came in it from the same paradigm that I had last bull run, which was we're going to just liquidity pool it up. We're going to figure out ways to get passes for holding, which I'm still doing. But like the whole put a bunch of money in the market and just liquidity pool it, that was a flop this year. Not in the sense that it's not producing anything, but in the sense that it's not producing what it needs to for this to be substantial for me. Like, if I need to make liquidity to buy crypto, I can do that better in my traditional finance portfolio. There are tools over there now that work better than liquidity providing. It's also not the narrative for this year. So when it first came out, it was great. Now, not so much. So, you got to adapt. And that's what we're doing. We're gonna adapt the portfolio. We're gonna make it better placed for the bull run, for what I need it to do. And we're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna rock out. But there isn't that much time. We've got 2 pivotal bull runs, including this one. You're in one of them. There's one more. If you miss this one, I would recommend getting in the market this one. But if you miss this one, then gosh darn it, if you're watching this later on in the time, and you're following up and we're looking back, for God's sake, be getting ready for 2028. Be getting ready for that. When we go back into the bear market and you guys see me up here doing my weeklies during the bear market, whatever that looks like, because I don't think that's going to look like what we're used to anymore. But when we're there and we're talking about getting ready, girding up, I hope you're going to be getting ready then at minimum, because this is going to be one of those things, just like the internet boom in the 90s, where people look at it and go, I could have done that. I could have invested in that. And then they're going to be mad that they've got nothing to show for it. And there's going to be a new generation of people that are going to be rolling around. We're going to be flexing. We're going to be buying stuff, living our best life. And the rest of you are going to be destitute talking about what you could have done. How long are we going to talk about what we could have done, people? That's the question I'm going to leave with you. Matter of fact, I want some answers down in the comments. How long are you going to talk about what you could have done before you start acting? Till next week, people. It's your boy Reckless Radio Narrow, and I am out. Peace. No, I'm actually out this time. Double peace. I'm peacing out again. Peace. Oh, messed it up again. Triple peace.
Money moves, gotta hustle, gotta grind. In this game, no room for the blind. Crypto's the wave, the key to the grind. Transfer that wealth, this time to climb. Blockchain buzzing, time to make a move. Invest in the future, can't afford to lose. Learn the game, gotta play it right. On the right side, we take it flight. Punch the clock, working hard day and night. Gotta stay focused, keep that mind tight. Crypto, wealth transfer, we want it all. Rise to the top, never hit a wall. Oh,